I don't remember when I first opened my eyes. Only the warmth, the scent of straw, the sound of someone humming in the distance, a human song, soft and cracked. Back then, we weren't pets. We were survivors. I was small enough to fit inside an old wooden box under the mill. My mother would leave at dusk and come back before sunrise, sometimes with a rat, sometimes with nothing. When she licked my head, I thought the world was safe. But it wasn't. One night, the river rose. Water filled the mill, cold and fast. I remember her teeth gripping the scruff of my neck, dragging me up the stairs, breath shaking. She made 3 trips, one for each of us. When the water swallowed the lower floor, she didn't return. I waited until morning. Then hunger made me move. That was the first time I learned, if we wait too long for someone to come back, the world keeps turning without them. I found the village later. A woman with gray hands dropped fish heads near her doorstep. I was afraid at first, but hunger doesn't care about pride. She didn't call me anything, just said, "You again." And then she started talking to me every day like I was listening. I was. People think cats don't remember words, but we do. We remember tone. We remember how it feels when a voice cracks at the end of a sentence. That woman's voice cracked a lot. When she died, I lay beside the bed until they came to take her away. Someone tried to shoo me out. I hissed. They let me stay. For days I couldn't eat. Then one morning I woke up and realized the world smelled different. Empty, like rain after fire. That's when I left. Years blurred. I've had many names. Shadow, Lucky, Bastet, Trouble, Ghost. None of them are truly mine. Every human thinks they're the first to name us, but names are just temporary shelters. There was a boy once. He found me in an alley behind a bakery. He couldn't have been older than 10. He said, "You look like someone who knows too much." I did. He wrapped me in his coat and carried me home. For months, we shared everything. Scraps of bread, half a blanket, the warmth of his breath. He'd talk about his dreams, about leaving the city one day, becoming someone important. I'd listen. I always listened. Then one night, he didn't come back. They said fever took him. I sat by the window for weeks, watching the street, waiting for footsteps that never came. That's another thing humans never understand. We grieve quietly, but deeply. I've been worshipped like a goddess and kicked like dirt. I've been carved into stone and abandoned in cages. I've lived in temples, palaces, ships, and sewers. Every age changes its opinion of us, but we stay the same. In Egypt, they painted my ancestors on tomb walls. They said we were sacred, guardians between life and death. In Europe, they burned us, said we were witches' familiars. We hid under floorboards, behind chimneys, in shadows that smelled of smoke. And still, we came back. Always. Because survival runs in our blood like music. Sometimes I dream about the others, the ones who didn't make it, the ones who trusted too easily, the ones who stayed in burning houses because they believed their humans would return. You'd think we'd grow numb after so many lives, so many losses. But no. Every time a kind hand reaches out, I still want to believe. Every time someone calls softly, I still turn my head. We are creatures of contradiction, independent but longing, cold but endlessly loyal to those who earn it. In another life, I lived with a painter. She smelled of oil and turpentine. Her room was always a mess. Canvases leaning on every wall, half-finished faces staring at me with hollow eyes. She called me Muse. When she painted, I sat by the window, tail flicking, pretending I wasn't watching. But I watched everything. The way her fingers trembled, the way she whispered to the canvas as if it could answer. One day she stopped painting, just sat there, staring at her hands. I curled up in her lap and purred until she smiled again. She said, "You always know when I'm breaking, don't you?" I blinked slow. That was my answer. When she finally left this world, they found me sleeping beside her easel. They called it loyalty. They didn't know it was love. We cats have seen civilizations rise and crumble. We've watched the world grow loud. Engines, screens, endless light. We used to chase stars. Now we chase red dots. But deep down, something ancient still beats inside us. I still wake at dawn even in cities that never sleep. I still listen for the sound of a human heartbeat through a door. And when I find it, I still press my head against it, the same way my mother once did to me. People think we are silent observers. They don't realize we've carried history on our paws. We remember the first fire, the first song, the first betrayal. We remember the scent of every hand that's ever fed us, and every one that's turned away. When the world forgets, we don't. We live long enough in enough lives to see how things repeat. Humans destroy, rebuild, promise, and forget. And through it all, we wait. Sometimes, I wonder if that's what we're really here for. To remind them that love doesn't need language, that loyalty doesn't need reason, that even in silence, something still stays. There's a place I go now, on quiet nights. A rooftop above the city, where the wind smells faintly of salt and rust. From there, I can see everything. The glow of windows, the pulse of life below. I think about the ones I've known, the ones I've lost. The woman with gray hands, the boy with the fever, the painter with the trembling voice. They're all there, somewhere in the rhythm of my heart. I close my eyes. I let the city breathe around me. And for a moment, I almost hear them again. Laughter, footsteps, a whispered, "Stay." Maybe we cats never really move on. We just keep walking through time, carrying fragments of every love we've ever known. Maybe that's our curse. Or maybe it's our gift. Because no matter how many centuries pass, no matter how many hands touch us or hurt us, we still come back. We still find the warm place. We still sit beside someone in the dark. And when they ask softly, "What have you been through, little one?" I want to tell them everything. About the fires, the storms, the temples, the ships, the silence. About every soul that ever looked at me and thought I was just a cat. But I just blink. Because some stories are too long for words. And besides, they wouldn't believe how much we remember.